Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and the cannon build is going to go into part 2 today, and we'll see how far we can get with it. And I guess there's not a whole lot to discuss. I don't know about getting to shoot the thing, because even if we get it finished, there's a lot of rain going on right now, so we'll just have to wait and see. I guess, having said that, we need to just get on with the video. Oh, yeah. At one point, I said we don't have any stickers on this channel, and then about I guess a month ago, our channel's official graphics artist turned up again. He'd been in I think some kind of hospital or something, getting straightened out there from illness. I don't know what kind. And so I got about 30 stickers, and I've given away quite a few of them to some of the big channels in the hopes of getting some publicity out of it. And I've got a little more than 10 left over, so if you want one of the very rare channel stickers, send me your snail mail address, and I'll try to send you one while supplies last. Okay, so now we really will get on with the video. This thing used to be the little back piece at the bottom of one of those web type lawn chairs. This is where all the webs wrapped around it, and it held the sides together. Well, it's not doing that service anymore. It's going to be a trunnion. We melted down the lawn chair just the other day. Make ingots out of it. Once I get that little bit cut off there, alright, start cleaning it up. I'm going to turn this off. Y'all have seen me turn down a little piece of metal before, so I'm going to stop this right now. Unless I made another mistake, I've got it close enough for press fit. And I'm going to cut it off maybe about 3/4 of an inch. Find a good spot here to identify 3/4 of an inch. It's about right close to the darn chuck. Well, we'll have to pull it out a little bit. That'll make it an inch overall. If I cut it off at 3/4 of an inch. And that looks pretty close to 3/4 right there. So, go after it. The little chips are hot. That little piece of metal's hot. Okay, so there it is. Trunnions are put in. Fuse holes bored. The bore is bored. And all we need now is to make the carriage. And I'll have to look around here. I think I've got a couple of pieces of scrap oak, which should be just right to hold things really nice and strong. And so I'll get on with making the little carriage or stand or whatever the heck the name of it is. I got this part of the base marked off. Now I'm going to drill some holes to locate the stuff, and then I'll drill a hole right there to you know, to put the trunnions in. These will be just locating holes here on the ends. I'll make sure this is dead center. And I can go ahead and cut the 3/8 hole for the trunnions to go into. I'll be back. I think that's dead on, so here we go. Alright, we got this set up, we might as well cut it out. Okay, on with the rest of it. More than one way to plane a piece of wood. Just a little bit thick for me, so I chucked it up and we're cutting it down. And I think that's the right thickness right there, so on to the next step. Okay, so there it sits. There's the cannon in there. It's held in with 4 screws. And now I need to look for something to color it with, you know, some kind of bluing or something for the cannon. I'll see if Zorro's got it, and if so, then I can take the thing apart, put a little lacquer on everything or something to make the wood shiny, and put the bluing on the metal, and we'll be home free. So that means that's it for today, because I've got to go order the stuff from Zorro, I think. Okay, so this is how things are going to look when it's finished, except instead of being all shiny, I expect it to be blue or dark blue or black even. And this, of course, all this wood's going to be varnished some or lacquered. And what we're going to do to the metal is we're going to put on this birchwood Casey Perma Blue. And I read the instructions on cleaning all the oil off the cannon and put the stuff on for a minute and wash it off and put it on again for a minute and wash it off and put it on again for a minute and wash it off till you got the color you want. Well, I'm not going to try to make a video of that because I'll be as busy as a one-legged man at a square dance. So what we're going to do is I'll blue it and then I'll come back and you can see it's blued, because that's probably about all I can handle at one time. For the wood finish, I just dipped it in this polyurethane. That I think will coat it really good. It certainly looked nice and thick and smooth. And now on with the bluing. I poured the gun blue into that little plastic container, and I've been dipping the thing in it. I got tired of wiping it on, and I think it's taken on a fairly pleasing color. We'll find out at the end of this. I've had about 4 rinses now and 4 recoatings, so we'll just keep on keeping on for a little bit longer. Well, that may or may not be the blue job of my dreams, but that's as blue as it's going to get. That ought to be good enough for this project, I think. After all, it looks pretty nice to me. It's all shiny and a nice dark color, and I think that's nice. So that's where we're going to stop with that. Now I've got to make a mold for the bullets. Can't make a cannon without cannonballs, you know. Alright, so I squared up this piece of aluminum, which started out as sort of a trapezoid. I don't know how it got that way, but that's what it was, kind of a real rugged trapezoid. And I put 2 half-inch holes in there. That's where we're going to cast the so-called cannonballs, although they're going to be more like wad cutters. But nevertheless, I figured two little holes would do the job. And the proper way to make a bullet mold, you know, is to have it split right down the middle and have a sprue plate with holes in it, cut it at an angle so that when you make the bullet you can cut off the leftover lead. Well, I'm not going to go to that much trouble because I'm sure this cannon won't get shot a whole lot, you know, just once in a blue moon, so I don't need anything fancy. If the bullets, you know, if the things come out a little rounded on the end, well, that's okay. I'll deal with it, you know. We're not trying for accuracy anyway, we're just trying for some fun. So tomorrow I put her all back together and cast a couple of, well, maybe 4 or 5 so-called cannonballs, and then I guess it'll be ready to take out to the range for a test. I don't know if we'll go tomorrow or the next day, but certainly somewhere in there. So I think that's it for tonight. I'm going to knock off. It's about 8:30. I've worked too long. Alright, I'm going to interrupt our regularly scheduled broadcast to bring you this breaking news. I'm making a little adapter so I can put these cabinet pulls on drawers that had a round knob right in the middle. And what I'm going to do is, these things have got the screws down here, so I'm going to drop it about a ½ inch to be sure I cover up that hole left from the center knob. And of course I've got holes here and here at the 3-inch mark so that I can drill everything just right, you know. And I'll probably put a little bubble level on it. I'm going to put right here in this center hole, I'm going to screw in a number 8 screw, which will position the thing in the center of the drawer if the last person to drill holes was in the center, and I'm sure they were. And I can take my drill bit and just punch through both of those holes, and I should be perfectly lined up for all the multitude of drawers that I'm going to switch these things over on. So all that's left for me to do is to tap that little hole there with the number 8 thread. So I'm going to cut this off and let you guys assume everything was wonderful and a great success. I thought maybe I better screw it together to prove that it all fits, and it fits just right. So wrap some tape around it so it doesn't get the cabinet drawers dirty or scratched, and that's what I'll use to drill the holes. Alright, so there's our cannon blued. The wood's been varnished, lacquered, or some sort of finish. It's actually polyurethane and or polyurethane, I don't know, some name like that. Anyway, it's sitting there with the fuse in it. All I got to do now is to pour some cannonballs. Actually, they're more, like I said, more like wad cutters. But anyway, got to make the little bullets, and then we'll be ready to go to the range. I'm going to use the little pot for this job. Put just one muffin in there and crank the thing up to whatever maximum is, and after a while we'll come back with a little dipper and we'll spoon out a couple of rounds and see how it works out. Okay, the time's come to try to cast a couple of little slugs for the thing. The mold is cold, so they'll probably come out kind of chilled, which probably won't matter a whole lot anyway. In fact, my little dipper there is chilled. So I may have to wait a couple of minutes here while this thing generates enough heat to warm up the little dipper. We'll be back. Alright, I didn't put enough lead in. I put only one muffin, and so it's hard to get a spoonful. That's no good. That'll have to go right back in. I guess I may have to wind up melting 2 muffins just to get the job done. I guess that's what I'm going to do. We'll be back, just like Arnold said. Alright, I should have enough level in there to dip out some. I expect to get a couple of severely wrinkled bullets the first couple of times. That's what happens. At least we heated up the mold. You can see the wrinkle in the side of that. And you can see that one's wrinkled. But they'll be less wrinkled the more of them I pour in there. I've got to develop a technique there where I don't dribble around the edges. They don't want to come out easy, which I figured. Back when I was a teenager and I made them like this, they didn't come out easy then either. But eventually they come out. You can see, still wrinkled. But this mold gets hotter every time I pour anything in it, so we've got hope. Darn. It would have been nicer if I made a sprue plate so I could just cut all those little pieces off. All right. That's pretty pitiful. Well, it's no use me showing me pouring these over and over until everything gets hot enough, so we're going to knock it off here. Well, the muffins are back to muffins, and I don't think I got any really good cannonballs out of this thing. I don't know. I have to let them cool off and see if I can trim them down with some side cutters. Chances are we won't get to shoot the cannon on this video because I've just got too much to do, and I got too many projects I've had to work on, and I've got a day of work on cabinets tomorrow, so it looks to me like that we'll be shooting it next week's video if I get cannonballs worked out. Alright, there you go. That's the brakes. While I was melting bullets and rather melting lead, trying to make the projectiles, I also was over there on the lathe making this handle for the tripod. And it's not real beautiful, but I needed another tripod, and I had this one, and the old handle I think it was stripped out. I couldn't figure out what the thread was down in the hole. I don't know where the handle for it was anyway, so I just threaded it 1/4 like everything else, and I think that'll do the job. At least it'll hold everything steady now instead of the head falling over. So I got another little job I got to do too. I'll show you here. Hold on. It's getting late in the day, but those two bicycles that I keep bumping my head on are going to go to Goodwill here in just a few minutes. I meant to do that a couple of days ago. I meant to do it Monday, I meant to do it today, and so on. But I'm really going to do it. Hey, Lance, camouflage. All right, so we got to get back to Bubba here. And Bubba was out painting his house one day there, along about the 1st of June, and his buddy Cooter come by and looked at him and says, "Hey, Bubba, what the heck are you doing there wearing both your winter coats?" Bubba says, "Well, Cooter," he says, "anybody ought to know how to do this stuff." He says, "You see this paint can?" He says, "Right here, use 2 coats." And then the other day, actually the other night, Bubba was stumbling home, about 3 sheets to the wind. He was, just drunker than a hoot owl, and trying to get home. And he come by and he saw the Baptist preacher there on the sidewalk. And he says, "Hey, Brother Jones," he says, "you want to walk me home?" And Brother Jones looked at him and says, "Yeah." He said, "That might be a good idea." So he grabbed a hold of Bubba's arm and steadied him on down the street, and they got down to Bubba's house there, and Bubba says, "Hey," he says, "Brother Jones," he says, "how about you coming in?" He says, "I want Bobby Sue to see who I've been out with." That maybe that'll improve his reputation, huh? All right, folks. Well, I guess that wraps it up for today. I'd appreciate if y'all subscribe if you don't, and either way, you could click the like button, even if you didn't like it. No, really. But anyway, and leave a comment. That's really the best part, if you leave me a comment. And I'll see y'all later. Keep on keeping on.